Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior and welcome back to another Mortal Kombat 11 video. Now in today's topic and discussion, with the most recent reveal and trailer drop of Mortal Kombat Aftermath, I wanted to talk about the story mode that did feature in the trailer, break down everything that we did see frame by frame, and give you some context and idea of what exactly is happening with the story and what will be going on here. Now much like its name, Mortal Kombat Aftermath will be taking place after Liu Kang has defeated Kronika and is now keeper of the Hourglass, but Aftermath's main story will be focusing on all of the DLC characters that came out post-release. So for the most part, these characters will be front and center and what the story will be revolving around. What I find the most intriguing here is that Shang Tsung, Fujin and Sheeva will be the main characters, which for the most part isn't a team you'd normally expect to see. Now due to the focus on these three characters, it raises a lot of questions amongst them, such as will Fujin be able to hold his ground and keep the treacherous sorcerer Shang Tsung in his place, or will the sorcerer reign supreme? Now Sheeva has to deal with her own form of conflict, as she now is the queen of the Shogun, but with the revitalization of Queen Sindel, it raises a lot of questions about her loyalty and where her position truly is. So there will be a lot of conflicting aspects with each of the characters in the story mode. Now what do we know right out the gate? What is the main premise of the story? Well, as I mentioned, after Liu Kang defeats Kronika, weaving and forging a new future for the Mortal Kombat universe with Raiden, they would be interrupted by Shang Tsung, Fujin and a human Nightwolf, with Shang Tsung saying that if Liu Kang does go in this direction, then he is at risk of killing them all. You see, throughout the story of Mortal Kombat 11, Kronika needs her allies to acquire a crown for her to alter the timeline, but when Liu Kang took off her head, he had inadvertently destroyed that crown. So if he was going to weave time, it could result in the destruction of all that exists. So Liu Kang must entrust Fujin and Shang Tsung with the mission of obtaining her crown by sending them back in time. So with that being said, let's finally get to the trailer and go through it frame by frame, with me breaking down what exactly is going on, where could this possibly take place, and what will ultimately happen. Now our first shot here is with Fire God Liu Kang, Fujin, Shang Tsung, human Raiden, and surprisingly so, a human Nightwolf. Now the reason why I say surprising is because the last time we saw Nightwolf in the Mortal Kombat canon was in fact him being a revenant in Mortal Kombat X. Now in all honesty, I'm not too sure as to how he's in his human form here, as you see a big aspect of Mortal Kombat X is attempting to cure those under Quan Chi's influence. So at the end of Mortal Kombat X, with Quan Chi dead, we are left to believe that he's now in the Netherrealm, existing as a revenant under Emperor Liu Kang and Empress Kitana. Now the only reason as to how I believe he's human here is his shamanic heritage, being well versed in the mystic arts and really understanding how the spirits work. It may have been possible that Nightwolf had purged himself of his revenant-like form of his own free will. I would take this with a grain of salt, because this would have approximately taken about 29 years for him to do that, but it's the only idea in my mind as to how he's here in his human form. Now our next few shots are of Fujin and Shang Tsung arriving at Shang Tsung's island and getting in reach of Kronika's crown. Now I believe that this is roughly at the end of the story, as this is ultimately what they are here for, but I do wish to highlight one thing: how this is framed, and Fujin in front of Shang Tsung. I'm 110% expecting for Shang Tsung to quite literally stab him in the back, as it is in the sorcerer's nature. We then have another brief interaction between Raiden and Shang Tsung, with the former god showing his distrust of Shang Tsung, but the scheming sorcerer lets him know that he's been watching Kronika the entire time and is aware of her secrets, so if they wish to reforge history, then they have to do what he said. So Shang Tsung is extremely important to this story and could, in a weird twist of fate, be seen as the one that helps save the universe, but I personally believe that there's still much more going on than just that. Now from this point in the trailer onwards, we are shown some snippets and gameplay of Fujin and Sheeva before we cut back to Shang Tsung, Sheeva and Fujin in seemingly the Netherrealm. Now one thing I must point out here is that Fujin is carrying a coffin, and what I personally believe is the resting place of Sindel. Now this coffin can also be seen in that small bit of aftermath story that NRS released alongside the trailer itself, so we know that they will be taking this coffin from the Netherrealm to Outworld as they are going to revive Sindel, which is something we do see in the trailer, as it seems like with the combined might of Shang Tsung and Fujin, they're able to take her to the soul chamber that is located in Outworld and use it as a power source to bring her back. So the big question is right now, what exactly happened to Sindel between Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11? As much like Nightwolf, the last time we did see her was as a revenant. Now for her to come back in a human form, she definitely had to have died between the events of X and 11, and seeing as how Dark Raiden was already on bad terms terms with the Netherrealm, there is the possibility that she would have been killed by it. Again, we don't really know right now, so please do take this with a pinch of salt. But Sindel isn't in her revenant form for the story. We then see a shocked Sheeva and Kitana supposedly reacting to Sindel's return, as Kitana does say, "What have you done?" From here we get an action clip of a God Raiden fighting Netherrealm demons, and this is in a new area, as there are 3 new stages in the Aftermath expansion, so I believe this is one of them we're seeing here, and this may be going on just before Raiden got on Kairon's ship, or possibly the other option is Raiden has been able to reobtain his godhood and is fighting alongside Shang Tsung to defeat these Netherrealm demons. Our next shot here is of Fujin, seemingly struggling from an attack in the Netherrealm, but we do not know who it's from. Now, judging by its demonic hands and appearance, this may be where Shang Tsung turns against Fujin, as Fujin does touch on this later on in the trailer, and the final battle in Mortal Kombat 11 takes place in the Netherrealm, and the mystical burning looking hands share an eerie color scheme with Shang Tsung's fire snake. Our next clip is Shang Tsung beating up some Lin Kuei cyborgs at the Wuxi Academy, which is strange to me because this is in fact located in Earthrealm. A very surprising shot here is where the special forces are attacked by a legion of Shokan, and this apparently takes place in the Netherrealm. Now, there are 2 reasons as to why this may be happening. Sheeva may have turned her back on Earthrealm as she feels some form of loyalty towards Sindel, or maybe the Shokan have turned against Sheeva, as we've learnt, but the Shokan aren't completely in favor of having Sheeva as their queen. Now, we do get some more gameplay shots within the trailer, but what we see next is Fujin agreeing to bring back Sindel, and that she's apparently going to be the powerhouse of the team. Now, here we get another shot of Shang Tsung's island, of where Sindel and Nightwolf have joined forces to defeat Cetrion. Another thing worth pointing out here is that this Cetrion is in her final chapter armor, so this must be near the end of the story mode when they are acquiring Kronika's crown. Our next shot here is quite interesting, and that is Sheeva possibly questioning her loyalty, as she mentions how she guarded Sindel when she was alive. We then cut to Kronika, who learns that Shang Tsung is alive and plotting behind her back. But what I find interesting here is how she mentions that he is far more sinister than they could have imagined. So Shang Tsung definitely has his own plans in mind. And when we cut to Shang Tsung, we see him with Fujin and present time Jax, which means that they may end up altering the timeline. Our next final shot of Cetrion is her getting ganged up on by Shang Tsung and Fujin, which must of course lead to her eventual defeat, as it is the same area of which Nightwolf and Sindel also took her down. Now, our final shot to close out the trailer here is Shang Tsung saying that even he can't predict what comes next, showing that whatever plan he has in his pocket is something that he's doing on the fly. But this covers all of the story aspects of the Mortal Kombat Aftermath trailer. So in summary, allow me to analyze and somewhat put all of these jumbled pieces together, as it seems like we do have a rather interesting story at hand. Now, first things first, Shang Tsung puts together a team in order to go back in time and retrieve Kronika's crown. By doing so, it will allow Liu Kang to reforge time. However, it wouldn't be crazy to believe that Shang Tsung wishes to get his hands on this crown for himself, as it imbues the wielder with great power, strong enough to defeat even an elder god. And after observing Kronika for a long amount of time, he would no doubt in my mind know how to use the crown to its full capacity. Now, upon being sent back in time, they more than likely get dropped in Earthrealm, which would explain why they are at the Wuxi Academy, and from here go to recruit those under them to help in their mission. So this would mean Sheeva. But in order to accomplish their mission and somewhat guarantee their success, they would need the power of Sindel. So this would take them to the Netherrealm, of which they would get her coffin and bring her back to life by using the Soul Chamber. Now, upon Sindel's return, this causes some turmoil in the group, and it makes Sheeva question where she stands. But regardless of this, they continue on their mission, and this takes them to Shang Tsung's island, where they come to blows with Cetrion, and Kronika seemingly learns of Shang Tsung meddling with her plans. Now, here is where I feel like the group does split, as we see a bunch of fighting between the special forces and Shokan, and we all know that Shang Tsung is up to something. So I believe after this point there is a split in the group, and it comes down to the good guy to take down Shang Tsung. But we do not really know what happens from this point onwards, as we do not see him get his hands on Kronika's crown. But you know that once he does, it could lead to some pretty catastrophic events, because in my mind, Shang Tsung couldn't live with himself knowing that someone like Liu Kang would be forging his fate. But this for the most part covers everything that we currently know about Mortal Kombat Aftermath story. It's a really interesting one, as it does put the DLC characters front and center, and it's a team composed of individuals that you wouldn't really ever see working together. I'm super interested to see where this story goes, and I cannot wait till it's released. So that being said, what do you think is going to happen in Aftermath's story? And of course, with the amazing reveal of Fujin, Sheeva and RoboCop, this weekend I will be doing a history of Fujin, so please do keep an eye out for that. But yes guys, this pretty much sums up everything I wish to say here. So as always, before this video wraps up, if possible, let's try getting it to about 500 likes, and don't forget to take that bell, as it will notify you when I do upload a video. Now as always guys, please comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care, and I will see you all next time.